Hey, what's up YouTube? Dan the Fix-It Man. Got another quick video here for you. I'm going to show you how to change your front brake pads and front brake rotors on a 2007 Toyota Camry. Now you'll notice I've got the wheel turned a little bit to the right here. We're doing the passenger side first. That just gives you a little bit more access to get to these caliper slide pin bolts and of course take off this caliper as well. Now the first thing I like to do is push this caliper piston back in so that we'll have more room for the new thicker pad material and of course the new thicker rotors, pressing that hydraulic fluid backwards up through this line and into the master cylinder. So because we're going to do that, we need to pop the hood and take a look at that master cylinder and make sure that there's enough room in there so that it doesn't overflow and make a big mess. So let's go do that now. All right, this is our master cylinder right here, and you can see that our fluid level is actually way down here. We're well away from the max, so we've got plenty of room to press that caliper piston back in, which is going to cause this fluid to rise. Now, a lot of people ask me if you need to take this cap off when doing this, and you really don't. Brake fluid is hygroscopic, meaning that it attracts moisture or water, even the moisture in the air. Now, exposing that brake fluid to new air, which would have more moisture in it, will absorb that and cause it to degrade and go bad. So the less you can expose that to air or new moisture, the better. The lid is somewhat vented, so any air that's in there that is going to compress or come up will still be able to escape out the lid, and it really doesn't seem to change the resistance too much in that piston. But it looks like we've got plenty of room, so we can go press that caliper piston back in now. Now, there's a few different ways to press the caliper piston back in. I prefer the small pry bar method. And if you just wedge that in and then just pull that towards you, you see that caliper slide along those slide pins? And now I'm going to wedge that in between the inside pad and the rotor and push that the rest of the way in. And that should be good. Again, there's several different methods. You can also use a C-clamp or the caliper compression tool after taking this off. Either way works fine. Now, as an alternative method, you could take off this rubber cap and crack open that bleeder screw and expel the old brake fluid out as you push the caliper piston back in. That's completely up to you if you'd like to do it that way. One benefit to that method is that you are also cycling through that old brake fluid, but if you do it that way, you're going to have to bleed the brakes when you're done. The way that I'm doing it, we're not going to have to bleed the brakes because we're not allowing any new air or anything to potentially enter into that hydraulic system. All we did was cycle it backwards and now we're good to go. Now we can loosen and remove these two caliper slide pin bolts. That's a 14mm socket. I'm just going to zip these off real quick with the Milwaukee once I broke them loose. Sometimes those slide pins will also spin, and so you may need to get a 17mm open end wrench on here to hold that steady. Let's see if it spins or not. No, those slide pins are pretty stiff, so they're not moving on us. Same with that one. Now, sometimes those slide pins get kind of stuck or kind of sticky, and in this case, they didn't spin at all, probably because they need to be cleaned and re-greased, and that's one of the things we're going to do here. But now we can pull this caliper off. We're just going to hang this up on the coil spring, way up as high as we can so that that's out of the way. Okay, now we can pull out the old brake pads. You see we have these little V-springs or little return springs. Pull those off first, and pop out the old brake pad. All right, now we can remove these two caliper bracket bolts. Those are a 17mm socket. Now I like to keep one hand on this bracket so we don't drop it. Now to take off this old rotor, you know, sometimes they pop right off and you get lucky, and sometimes they're stuck on here pretty good like this one is. Now, there's a couple ways to take this off. There is a special tool here called the Rotor Remover 9000. It's also called a Tanya Harding. Sometimes that will knock it off and it's pretty quick. But you can also use this little trick right here. If you notice there are two little threaded holes on the rotor, you can grab a couple M8 by 1.25 bolts and thread them in there, and they will act as like a little force screw, and they will press this rotor off the hub. And let's go ahead and tighten these and see if that works. Well, that's getting pretty tight. There we go. Still pretty snug on this hub. There we go. And then we can pull these bolts out of here. That one was really stuck on there. Now, to prevent this new one from getting stuck, what I'm going to do is clean the surface of that hub with this wire wheel. There's a few other tools that do it as well, but just make sure you wear some safety glasses if you're going to use something like this. I'm just gonna hit that with some brake cleaner. Now I'm also gonna brush the surface of that hub with some of this Permatex copper anti-seize. Little goes a long way. That looks good. All right, now the new rotor, they almost have like a packing type of oil to prevent them from rusting. So we need to get that wiped off. I'm gonna use some brake cleaner here on a paper towel. And then we can set this up here. And then we'll wipe off the other side. Now, because this one doesn't have the production screw that all Hondas have to hold these steady, a lot of times I'll just throw on a lug nut. That'll just kind of hold this upright and steady while we put that bracket back on. All right, before we put this bracket on, we're gonna get this all cleaned up and change out the hardware here, and we're also gonna clean and re-grease these slide pins. So we just pop out the old hardware. And I'm gonna pull these slide pins out one at a time. Yeah, these are kind of sticky. Now, if these are really stuck or really sticky, you can clean these recesses out as well. Actually, I think we're gonna do that on this one. All right, because those recesses are pretty sticky, I'm gonna use this little brush kit here. Bought this a while ago on Amazon. It's got these nylon steel and brass brushes. This is the one that I've been using for caliper recesses or these slide pin bores, and they really seem to work very well. I've got a piece of cardboard down here, just gonna fill this up with some brake cleaner. And then just take this little bore brush and get in there and spin that a few times, back and forth a little bit. And we'll dump that out. Let's do it again. You know, I used to just roll up a paper towel and stick it down in there, and it worked pretty well, but I really like this little bore brush kit that I got. I'll get a link in the description for you. Now, I guess the right way would be to pull this little boot off here too, but I think we're all right. We got most everything cleaned out of there. That looks pretty good. All right, now I'm gonna use some caliper grease on this slide pin. I'm using this stuff here from Versachem. It's this nice pretty blue color. You don't want to use too much, but that looks about right. And then just slide that into our nice clean caliper bracket bore. And that's a huge difference now. Big difference. That spins and slides freely. We'll do the same thing with the other side. See, this one is just really sticky. Really sticky. Okay, this one's got the little rubber bushing on it too. Sometimes those rubber bushings will swell and need to be replaced, or you can take them off, or sometimes you see these little recessed cuts. Sometimes I'll cut those a little bit deeper if these are really swollen. This one doesn't look too bad, so I think this one's okay to reuse, but I'm going to do the same thing and clean out this slide pin bore. Now you want to inspect your slide pins as well. If they're all pitted really bad, you can replace them, but this one doesn't look too bad. Let's brush this one with some grease as well. And we'll pop it back in. Now sometimes you need to squeeze on that boot to burp out any air. These ones look pretty good. Now you can see that spins and moves in and out freely. These are good to go. Now, before I put the new hardware on here or on this bracket, I'm gonna clean up these little recesses with another wire brush. I'm gonna use this one here, this wire wheel on a drill. Just again, make sure if you are gonna do that, that you wear some safety glasses. That looks nice and clean. I like to put just a little bit of that same caliper grease underneath where these abutment clips go. This is not so much a lubricant as it is a protectant to prevent rust from building up underneath these little abutment clips. If the rust builds up underneath there, the brake pads will bind and it'll cause your brakes to drag. Now we can put on the new clips, and they just line them up here and snap them in place. A lot of manufacturers say that you do need to put some grease where the pads are going to ride as well. So sometimes I'll just take a little bit more of that same caliper grease and just kind of smear it inside that little channel. The debate here is that a lot of people say that that's just going to gather dust and debris, but I think just a really thin coating will help the pad slide in and out of there without getting bound up. But this is ready to go back on. All right, before I put that bracket back on, I'm going to put just a little bit of this medium strength blue thread locker from Permatex. This will just prevent those bolts from backing out on their own. And that looks good. And then we'll just put that caliper bracket back on and get these bolts started. Now I'm just going to get these snug with the Milwaukee. All right, the torque spec that I found online for these caliper bracket bolts is 79 foot-pounds. All right, now before we put on the new pads, you want to take note of the old clips that were on the old pads, these little squealers or noisemakers. They were on the top on both pads, and they also kind of squeeze the pad into this little abutment clip. So we just need to put these on with the same orientation, and then this one is ready to go in. Kind of have to slide that in at a little bit of an angle. There we go. Kind of have to push down on that clip while we do that. Same with this outside pad. Put the little clip on. Now you could also put a little bit more of that grease, but I already put some here in the little abutment clip, so we should be good. All right, now before I put those V-springs on, I'm going to put on this stuff right here. This is Silicone Ceramic Extreme by Permatex. Just a little thin layer on here seems to help cut down on some of the vibrations. It somewhat dampens the vibrations that cause noise. Now before I put on the V-springs, I'm going to pull the caliper down first and inspect this boot and make sure that it's all cleaned up. And it looks pretty good. A little bit of gunk on there. I'm just going to clean this off a little bit. All right, I'm just going to prop it there for a second while we put on these V-springs. And I'm just going to get the top one on first. You see, they go into these little holes in the edge of the vacuum plate here. Now make sure you don't twist this brake line around while you're doing this. And you just carefully place that caliper over the brake pads. And see, I pulled in a little bit on that slide pin. Sometimes you have to pull in a little bit on those slide pins to make that fit. But we got it back on, and now we can put in the little caliper slide pin bolts. And the torque spec that I found for these is 25 foot-pounds. Now you may or may not need the open end wrench here to hold that slide pin, but 17 millimeter if you do need it. And we're done. Now it's very important before you drive off, you need to go in the vehicle and step down on the brake pedal several times, which will push these caliper pistons back out, pressing those pads up against the rotor where they need to be. When you do that, however, don't press the pedal all the way to the floor because that can damage the seals in your master cylinder. Just press it down halfway several times until it feels firm, and then you can double check the fluid level in your master cylinder, top it off if needed, and you should be good to go. But that's pretty much it. I hope you guys like this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't mind. That does help me out. And of course, I'll get a link in the description to some of the parts and tools used in the video as well. Thanks so much for watching, and good luck.